Hi, it's Reverend Kate from the Center for Spiritual Living in Carlsbad, California. And I'm here to share some ideas with you today. I'd like to start with a reading from Ernest Holmes that may ring a bell with you. He says this: "The good things of life for which we seek are but echoes of the true self, knocking at the door of consciousness. Everyone seeks an inward sense of certainty without which happiness and satisfaction are impossible. We all seek an inner awareness of something greater than we are, something so complete that we can find completion in it. Something so vast that we may anticipate exploring its nature through endless eternities. Someone has said that the soul is homesick, that it cannot recover until it finds complete union with its source. Intuitively, we know that such a union with such a source of power must exist. If the stream of electric energy flowing into our homes becomes disconnected, no light is delivered, though the universe is packed solid with electric energy. So it is with our life. Its source, the source of our life, is an infinite sea of energy, of power, of love, and of wisdom. That which connects the outward man or woman with this source is their inward life, those inward thoughts and feelings which make up our consciousness." Those words are from a book, this thing called Life, which was written by Ernest Holmes back in 1943. Yes, 1943. And that was a time when there was fierce fighting on all fronts in World War II. A time when the future of the world hung in the balance, and a time when the deaths of soldiers and civilians were escalating. Back then, Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, was talking about the souls of humans feeling homesick to become connected once again to their source. Well, today is September 12th. It's 20 years and a day since the attack on America by terrorists. And it's less than 20 days since America and NATO left Afghanistan. And the world is in the midst of a global pandemic. There's a worldwide shortage of vaccines and healthcare, and a lot of confusion among people about what is the right way to proceed. Many people have died. We're in a situation once again where you could say that the future of the world hangs in the balance. And it's no wonder that many of us feel that our souls are homesick. Still, the truth is still the truth. While we can feel disconnected from our source or disconnected from life, it's just a perception. It's our perception about what's going on. It's not the whole story. It's not the deepest reality. That's, what I wanted to talk to you about today is, what do you do when you have that feeling of being disconnected, discontented. You know, in Science of Mind, we actually have a funny saying, divine disconnect, divine discontent, meaning that when we have an inkling, when we have a perception that things are not all right, it's a clue. It's a clue, and we can use it. We can use it to begin to understand more clearly what it is that would make us content. Now, one of the things that Ernest Holmes also said, and I really take it to heart, although it's difficult to practice, he said that the world has learned enough by suffering. Right? A lot of people say, and just yesterday, I heard someone say, it takes a catastrophe for us to realize that we can come together and heal. It takes an illness for us to realize that we ought to take steps to be healthy. Well, I'm here to tell you today, we don't have to let things get that far out of hand. We're all seeking to be more connected with our good. And the fact is, there is good for us. You know, I've said this many times. All you need to do is look around and see just the sun, just the sky, just nature itself. And you can see that there is intrinsically good in the world, in the universe. It's interesting. It's beautiful. And if you can just spend a little time in a forest, listening to the sound of the wind through the trees, if you can just spend a little time sitting on the sand in the sunshine, feeling the warm rays of the sun hitting your skin. If you can just spend a little time sitting by the seashore or along a stream, listening to the sound of the water, you must recognize that behind everything that seems to be going on, there is this innate, intrinsic truth that there is harmony, there is beauty, and there is good. We say there is good yearning to be in expression. And we're all seeking it, right? Each one of us wants to be happy. Why do you think that is? We want to be happy because happiness, a state of joy, a state of having enough, a state of prosperity and health, that is very much in harmony with the way the world really is. This is a world, a universe of life in expression, a world of love in expression. And yet, from day to day, things happen. And sometimes they just boil up and they become just astronomical problems. And then we need to take action, right? But what I want to talk to you about today is the idea that by calming yourself, by listening and getting in touch with your inner voice, your inner guidance, you can actually make new decisions, become aware of what's going on, and set a course for your life based on small shifts in your reactions and perceptions. Now, I live in Southern California. We have a mild Mediterranean climate, close to the ocean at least. And I have often laughed because I used to live in Wisconsin where the weather was quite extreme. And now that I'm in California, I sometimes say, living here, we're like geraniums. We still experience spring, summer, fall, and winter. But the temperature changes are very mild, but we feel it because we become more sensitive to it. So I live my life at a very narrow range of temperature compared to my friends who live in the upper Midwest, or in states where it gets really cold, or in places where it gets really hot. I'm saying to you that you can begin to live in a more mild climate of mind, in a mild mental climate, where you can become quite sensitive to the changes going on, to the feelings of, yes, this is good, not so good. Yes, this is what I want. This is what I'm enjoying. Become aware of that and use this as your guide to creating a life that is much closer to the life that makes you happy. And what we know is that when we are able to feel confident, at peace, secure, it's as if we become a beacon of light and good out into the world. See, we're all connected. So when I give, and this is why, when I give, I am also receiving. Life is something like a mirror, you could say. What we put out comes back to us. So when we become sensitive to what it is we would like to see, and when we begin to work towards that without allowing our lives to become a calamity, it brings good to all without allowing the whole world to become subject to calamities. Though I'm not talking today about whether there's a hurricane or not. That's a different question. What I'm talking about is the calamities that we know we can control. For instance, if you know, and most of us do, that someday you would like to retire, then now is the time to begin saving or planning for your retirement, right? Don't wait until you retire and then suddenly you have an empty bank account, nowhere to live. No, plan ahead, know what you want. You can follow your dreams now, once you are willing to think about what your dreams really are. Now, this is where the practice of meditation and affirmation and prayer treatment, affirmative prayer treatment, can really help. A lot of times we just kind of feel vaguely that something is wrong. Vaguely, there's something I'd like to see changed. And we can get caught up in looking at what's wrong and becoming to think of ourselves as a victim, as someone who's helpless, as someone who is being impacted by all kinds of things coming at us from without. I'm sure you have felt sometimes like you're just bombarded or overwhelmed, and it can make you feel actually very small and helpless. But that's not the truth. It's just like in the reading. where Ernest Holmes said, if the stream of electric energy flowing into our homes is disconnected, it doesn't mean that there's no stream of electric energy. It means just we're disconnected. And once we get reconnected, it's fine. That's what we can do in our own lives when we connect to our source, our spiritual source, our spiritual source of life, love, energy, intelligence, wisdom, beauty, all the good things, prosperity, abundance. How do you know what's right for you? Well, ask yourself, is this something that feels beneficial to me? Would it be beneficial to other people with whom I come in contact? Would it be beneficial to the world at large or cause no harm? Because in reality, anything you want that does not hurt other people or hurt other creatures or this planet is perfectly acceptable. It's something you can dream of and begin to form the image of having it. And that's the crazy thing. The amazing thing, I shouldn't say crazy, but crazy in a very good way, is that once you're able to get this idea of what it is you would like to have, then the task is to begin to accept that you already have it. So if I want to feel healthy, I need to begin to accept that I am healthy. And I need to back that up by doing the things that I know will help me experience that healthiness. And it's going to be different for everyone. So in my case, I might be getting vaccinated. I might be wearing a mask in public. I might be eating a nutritious diet. I might be getting a little more exercise. Another person might be eating less sugar. Another person might be spending more time with friends and family, watching more comedies instead of more tragedies. Each of us has the ability, actually, to know what's right for us. So when you're feeling a sense of discontent, when you're feeling a sense of being disconnected, the place to begin is in your own mind. Take a few moments and remind yourself of the truth that there really is good for you, that you really are the beloved of Spirit, made of the very essence of Spirit itself. You know, some people might like to look at it in a very scientific way and say they're made of stardust. Another person might like to say they're made of the earth, that, you know, or of a rib of Adam, direct descendants of Adam and Eve. But whatever you look at it, we're made of the substance of Spirit, because that's all there is. Therefore, you and I must be, in our very essence, perfect, whole, and complete. And also, we are able to connect with this source, our source, when we get quiet and when we begin to accept the possibility of good into our lives. I want to read a few more words from Ernest Holmes. This is a suggestion that he gives for a spiritual practice that can make us all feel a little more connected to good and to the possibility of good. He says, a meditation such as the following will be of great benefit to anyone who wishes consciously to unite himself with the source of his being. Say this. I am filled with the spirit of gladness. I have a sense of freedom and enjoyment. I am filled with an expectancy of good things. The energy of life flows through me. I have no anxiety for the future, no regrets for the past, for today is God's day in which I live and in which I greatly rejoice. This is a wonderful practice. Practice being open to experience gladness. Practice gladness. Enjoy good. And take a clue from your apparent problems and just see them as clues in a mystery as you move on down the road of life. If you'd like to find out more about our teaching, you can check out our website, www.cslcarlsbad.org. And if you would like to have affirmative prayer, please just send an email to us at truthliving@aol.com and have a blessed week. Thank you.